Hello and welcome to this edition of Healthy Habits. I'm your host, Amy Davis, and today our guest is Jeanne Peters. She's a registered dietitian and healthy aging expert. Today, Jeanne and I are going to discuss the 3 top reasons why it's important to ditch soda and artificially sweetened drinks altogether. Jeanne, welcome and thank you so much for being here with us today.
Love to be back. Thank you.
Now, Jeanne, I read beforehand, and back me up if this is true, that Americans, about 50% of all Americans drink soda or artificially sweetened drinks of some kind. And that number, includes children, which is really alarming. So are you aware of that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a big issue.
It is, and it seems like even though intuitively we know that there's better options and that it's not really natural to drink these things, it seems like Americans are drinking them on the regular. So let's get started right away with your top biggest, number 1 reasons why it's important to ditch soda in our diets altogether and also artificially sweetened drinks.
So the number 1 reason whether you're drinking a diet soda or regular soda is that they use phosphoric acid. And phosphoric acid is an acid that's actually almost fairly similar to our own stomach acids. So phosphoric acid is going to erode the enamel on the teeth. That's number 1. It's going to go ahead and weaken our bones. It's leading us more towards osteopenia and osteoporosis.
Wow. And what's your second biggest reason?
Second biggest reason is that it just leads to obesity. That there's if you're getting, like, just an example, this is a typical soda. So in 1 can of soda, you're getting about 35 to maybe 40 grams of sugar, and that's about equivalent to like 3 to 3.5 tablespoons. So this is 3 tablespoons of sugar.
Can you imagine eating 3 tablespoons of sugar?
No, but you start looking at drinking that, that spikes our insulin, so it immediately leads to, increasing our blood sugars, and with that, over a period of time, we're gonna see fatty liver, we're gonna see obesity.
Now, Jeanne, can you tell us our last reason why you would recommend we ditch soda altogether?
The third one's going to be surprising because a lot of people think, oh, I'm not going to have a regular soda, I'll have a diet soda. But we're finding out that diet sodas also lead to obesity. In fact, 2 different reports, one showing that just people who have 1 to 2 diet sodas a day have a 54% increase in obesity. And the second report showed that people that drank about 10 sodas over the course of a week had a 500% increase in belly fat. So we all know that's something that we're trying to avoid. Exactly. Yeah. So part of that is related to having these diet sweeteners. These artificial sweeteners actually disrupt the human genome and disrupt our gut in such a way that our body becomes accustomed to having this sweet taste.
And what would you recommend if someone really still wanted that soda flavor? If they had to have a diet drink. I know you mentioned stevia.
Well, one I would show you is that if you had to have like a Coke and you were looking to get a better alternative, there are Cokes and sodas that are out there that are sweetened with stevia. You just mentioned stevia.
Yes.
Stevia is a plant that grows, in the Mediterranean region, and it's about 30 times sweeter than sugar, but it doesn't have some of the impact that the other diet sodas like aspartame and some of these others have. So this could be a place where you could make that transition.
Okay, so if you're weaning off and you don't want a cold turkey, then you can...
Yeah, and this one has 0 grams of sugar, and it doesn't have the same impact that we're seeing.
And this is stevia also. You can get
stevia you can buy, at Trader Joe's, you can buy it at, a natural product store. A little goes a long way.
Yeah, you said it's like a lot.
So if you were having something like a pitcher of, let's say, iced tea, literally, you would only need maybe a drop or 2 at the most. Now, if you wanted to go more towards that fizzy sensation, I recommend, getting some mineral water. So mineral waters are, carbonated, so they've got that fizzy sensation that we like.
And this one's strawberry flavor, right?
So yeah, you can just having this sometimes can be helpful for people.
Especially for kids, maybe.
Here's a great one though. If you're a mom and you're looking to go ahead and get your kids, into something that's all an alternative, you can go to Trader Joe's or, any store that sells Emergency. So Emergency is citric acid. So it's an acid, but it doesn't have as much of the impact that you have with phosphoric acid. So you can just take an Emergency, put it into your mineral water. It'll get super fizzy, and kids like that sensation. So this is something in which you're getting some vitamin C, you're getting a little bit of something that's refreshing, and a lot of kids would actually enjoy seeing those kinds of bubbles. So, that would be...
And the fizzy sound, it's kind of like...
Oh yeah, it sounds like a little explosion.
Pop in your Rice Krispies. Now, what's your number 2 recipe?
I'll give you something that I like. I still love that sensation of fizzy water. I don't want the calories, so something else that you might consider is maybe doing some mineral water with kombucha.
Okay.
So kombucha is actually a flavored tea in which they invite a little bacteria into it, which kind of pre-digest the sugar that's in here with that tea, and it makes it into a drink that actually has some detoxifying properties. So kombucha by itself is very fizzy, you can see that. You know, this with a glass of ice, you know, can be wonderful. If it's a little strong, because it tastes a little bit like a slightly sweetened drink with a teaspoon of vinegar in it.
Yeah, I smell the vinegar. I smell it from here, but you know, I love kombucha.
But part of that vinegar is part of what's doing
Good
the
for
sort
you.
of detoxification
Okay.
for you. So this could be something that could be an alternative and help people wean off. It's very fizzy.
Right, and what is your last?
Last idea
not
we've got to
least-
just show, because I'd love to see people rehydrating more naturally with water. So
Yes.
I have to go ahead and put a pitch in for just good old-fashioned water. So this is what I call spa water. You know, if you've ever been to the
Yes.
spa, you know, that's just
I
what they
love the
serve.
spa water.
And it's so much fun to create some. So I wanted you right now just to
Okay.
take a look at, you know, if you took some water, these are some of the things that you could, you know, add to your water. Maybe you
right.
can just pop some things in so it's a little bit more savory. So you can
Okay.
put in some, you know, some cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
And I've got some
Now,
dill
what is
over
this?
here.
Dill?
Yes, you could just pop that in. A little bit of dill is always
Would it be
great.
weird to, you know, mix the strawberries
No,
with
not
it?
at all. This is a
Maybe
little bit
lime.
of cilantro. Anytime you put in herbs like cilantro, parsley, you're naturally, not only are you hydrating, but these waters are also really great for helping you to let go of excess water. So if you're feeling bloated, you know, going with some cucumber, filling it up with water, you know, and keeping it in the refrigerator, wonderful, refreshing
So it's
drink.
detoxifying also.
This is something that, you know, keep this in your refrigerator and you would absolutely be more likely to go and pour yourself a glass
Oh,
of water and
course.
hydrate.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jeannie. I'm excited to start doing a lot of these, and I think it'd be a fun treat to do with my little sisters and with little kids. So I think intuitively we know that we need to get rid of soda, but this, you know, really is helpful and will make the transition, I think, much easier for many people. So thank you so much for being here with us. It's always a pleasure learning from you and working with you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Healthy Habits. We'll see you next time.